And that was the other thing we talked about that night. He says, I said, well, their goal's got to be simple, right? He says, yeah, getting off this call with their self-image intact. And it reminded me of my mom. So my mom used to slam the door in the face of anybody who would knock on our door. She was just like that. And she'd hang up the phone too. So my mom's like the toughest person in the world to cold call I've ever seen. She also used to look out in the desert and lived in Arizona, way out in the middle of nowhere, and say, you know, Chris, when I was about 10, plenty of room out in that desert to bury a child. That was my mom. We had a lot of unconditional love in my family. It was unconditional anyway. You knew where you stood, right? So my mom, though, when she would slam that door or she'd slam the phone down, she would say, no, thank you. Now, why did my mom say thank you to somebody she was hanging up on? Because she wanted to keep her self-image intact. You have no choice. As a human being, as a social animal, you will always try to keep your image of yourself intact. So now you have a funny situation. You ambush somebody, they're afraid of you. They have a goal, getting off this call. It was a mistake. They didn't mean to answer and have it be you. Trust me. They were hoping for somebody else. That's why they answered, right? Their meeting, the area code was where the kid goes to college. I don't know what it was, but they answered for some reason. Now it's you. And they want to get off this call and they're afraid of you. And they don't want to admit they're afraid of you because that makes people feel bad too. So you have this really interesting setup. If you can use that setup, you're golden. So they want to get off with their self-image intact. Chris Voss says, well, we got to show them we see the world through their eyes. And then we have to demonstrate to them that we're competent to solve a problem that they have right now. And the problem they have right now is you, the cold caller. Well, that's an easy problem to solve. Put all those pieces together and that your little Rubik's Cube there. And what do you come up with? Well, offer them an opportunity to listen to you for a little bit in exchange for letting them off the call with their self-image intact, with your goal being to get trust. So first, we always say the goal of a cold conversation is to get a meeting. That's a false goal. That's the second goal. Your goal is to get trust. And I asked Chris, how long does that trust last? If somebody trusts us in those 7 seconds that we have, how long does it last? And he said, oh, that's easy. Forever. Pause until you blow it. I said, well, what do you have to do to blow it? He says, well, you could try selling to them like a salesperson. That'll blow it because they'll feel like you're trying to trap them into something. If I could show you a way to blah, 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 blah. And they're going, oh, yeah, I feel this. I've heard this one before, right? And then you've blown the trust.